Emotional eating during menopause? Well, I'm here to help you understand there are some science-backed ways to actually take control. So, welcome to this channel. I'm Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board-certified family and lifestyle medicine physician and a menopause certified practitioner. So I'm excited to share this really important topic with you. So let me pull up my notes here. All right. So first of all, again, if you are new to the channel, if you could just please feel free to subscribe. I bring daily lives like this most days of the week, trying to help you understand what's going on with our bodies and healthy ways to not only manage menopause, perimenopause, but high cholesterol, hypertension, help you lose weight, all those things. And in addition, there is a free webinar below. Feel free to sign up for that. It's Master Menopause and Feel Fabulous, where you'll learn the top 3 mistakes women make during menopause, my 5-step blueprint on how to master menopause and feel fabulous, which I used on myself. And as a bonus, just for registering for the webinar, you get the Perimenopause and Menopause Evaluation Checklist. It's a 4-page checklist, what you need to be speaking to your doctor about, what questions to ask, what labs, if any, do you need, and why they're important. So more importantly, it's not just a checklist, oh, I need to do this, but why, so you understand and walk into that office with confidence. Okay, jumping right over to the subject matter at hand. Okay, we understand menopause brings significant hormonal and emotional changes, physical changes that can really make your daily life challenging. Trust me, I've been there myself. And one of the more frustrating aspects for many women is emotional eating. It's a common response to increased stress, anxiety, or mood swings. And while emotional eating may offer, some temporary relief, it absolutely can lead to unhealthy patterns, weight gain, and a cycle that's hard to break. So understanding how menopause affects emotions and cravings is really the first step towards managing this what seems an unmanageable behavior, right? So we're going to explore a little bit on the emotional changes that during menopause that can trigger unhealthy eating patterns, along with some practical tips, there we go, for breaking the cycle with mindful eating, and again, some other coping strategies. So first of all, how hormonal changes during menopause contribute to emotional eating. Okay, so during menopause, again, the body undergoes some really significant hormonal shifts that can lead to some emotional instability, increased craving, and stress release eating. And here's how those changes can trigger emotional eating. Number 1, increased stress and anxiety. So the declining estrogen levels can heighten stress responses, increasing cravings for comfort foods like sweets and fatty snacks, which again can offer some temporary emotional relief, but bring along the extra calories and inflammation that are also going to potentially add or worsen any chronic diseases that you may be dealing with. Number 2 is mood swings and lower serotonin levels. So hormonal changes can affect serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter, which plays a role in mood regulation and appetite, okay? So reduced serotonin levels can trigger cravings for carbohydrate-rich food. I'd say refined carbohydrate-rich foods, which briefly increase serotonin and boost mood. And what are those refined carbohydrate foods? Would be things like bagels or cakes or donuts, those things that are sweet to the tongue, but boy, they are not good for your overall health. Number 3 is sleep disruptions and fatigue, right? So sleep disturbances such as night sweats or insomnia are super common during menopause and perimenopause and can result in fatigue and heightened stress levels. Lack of sleep affects hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, leading to increased appetite and a higher likelihood of emotional eating. And just to share a quick story of my own, so I just turned 54 a few days ago, and I really hit the menopause hard, fell off the menopause cliff, I like to say, late last year after running the Boston Half Marathon and actually PRing it. And I ran it with my daughter. And so that was a wonderful time. But within a few weeks, suddenly my body just turned into someone I didn't know. I felt like I went from 53 to 103. And as I started investigating and really learning what I needed to do, because I was already eating a whole food plant-based diet, exercising, I was at a really healthy weight, managing my stress, thinking I was getting enough sleep, but I was also thinking I was a light sleeper. But as I look back, and I chose to embrace hormone therapy, and I sleep so much better now. Over there, I would say the 7 years leading up to my menopause definite transition, I think perimenopause was at play. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and struggle to go back to sleep. And it wasn't necessarily worrying about anything. I just could not go back to sleep. And I was like, what is going on? And I would blame it on, I heard something outside. So I was wearing earplugs. The room was always dark. We had a really good sleep hygiene, went to bed on time, got up regularly. But man, that 3 a.m. something just hit me. And then when the menopause transition really hit, something woke me up and I'd have like a night sweat. And then I was like, what in the world? And so again, as I incorporated the hormone therapy, all of that resolved. And I am sleeping better than honestly I can recall sleeping, because I had children early in life. So it's been a long time. It's great. Anyway, moving on. What are some practical tips for mindful eating during menopause? Well, first of all, mindful eating can help reduce the likelihood of emotional eating by encouraging greater awareness of your physical and emotional hunger cues. Okay, so here are a few strategies to kind of help you build those healthier eating habits. And we're going to go over 5 of them. Number 1 is the HALT method, HALT. Okay, so it stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And it's a tool to help you just kind of pause and assess whether your desire to eat is either driven by physical hunger or some emotional needs. So before reaching for the food, ask yourself this: am I truly hungry? What are you feeling physically? When's the last time you ate? Am I truly hungry? Number 2, am I feeling angry or frustrated? Is there some emotion that triggered you to walk over to the cabinet or to the fridge or wherever it is, or go through the drive-through? Next would be, am I feeling lonely or isolated? Are you feeling overwhelmed by not having, friends or family nearby, or the holidays coming up? What's going on there? And then finally, am I tired or fatigued? Did you not sleep well the night before? Did you have a really rough day at work? So those are the 4 questions that allow you to give space and time between the craving manifesting itself. And think of craving as like a wave, right? So it comes and it will crest, and then it will fade. It'll slow down and kind of recede, just like a wave on a beach, right? You'll see it come in strong, it'll come in, relax, and then kind of subside. So this time, by bringing mindfulness, being present and understanding, and that curiosity factor that's occurring, that allows you to break that initial cycle of just grabbing something to eat. And so that's a really, really helpful thing. It's just like, halt. Let me ask myself, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? And if you are, you can still decide whether you want to engage in the food, eat the food or not, right? This is your choice, but at least you'll make a mindful choice. The whole thing here is making mindful choices and getting the mind, the thinking brain back on, and letting the emotional things that are bubbling up kind of subside and relax a little bit. But again, if you still choose to eat it, don't feel guilty about it. Just understand that you made a mindful choice. And over time, you may find yourself making less and less of the choices to go ahead and indulge. So there's some things there. Just remember, if the urge to eat is emotions like the anger, loneliness, or tiredness, just again, try to address those in healthier ways, such as maybe talking to someone, relaxation exercises, or journaling, maybe taking a quick nap. There's other ways to deal with that. But again, at the end of the day, it's still your choice, but you're making a mindful choice. Number 2 is recognizing emotional triggers. So keeping a journal is huge, right? It helps you track when and why cravings occur. So this really helps you identify specific emotional triggers that lead to eating, making it easier to differentiate between physical and emotional hunger. So you can almost think of this as a habit loop, like a deep dive into your habits. So a habit loop incorporates a trigger or a prompt, okay, the behavior, which would be the eating, and the reward. And if you just think about those 3 things, like, okay, so I'm here in front of the fridge, I decided that I'm here because I'm lonely. I just had lunch half hour ago, but maybe you weren't able to take time off from work to go be with family over Thanksgiving or something like that. Or some of your girlfriends from your high school or college are getting together and you're unable to attend for whatever reason. So again, that would just be something is like, okay, my trigger today was loneliness. How can I address this in a healthier way, right? So again, once you become more mindful of it, the that habit loses strength. It loses its grip on you. So that would be something to think about. Again, journaling is a wonderful way to really just write down so many things. I could talk about all sorts of stuff, but we're going to move on. Number 3 is use the 5-minute pause. Similar to the HALT method, we're going to talk about when the urge to eat rises, we want to just try to pause for 5 minutes. Even 3 minutes will work to determine whether you're truly hungry. Using this kind of time to practice deep breathing, drink water, or take a short walk can often be enough to help ease the emotional hunger signal. So the other thing you could do is, like my little watch here has, countdown. Like I could do 1 minute, and in 1 minute, if you can see that, it'll go off. And so if you don't want to, keep an eye on your track, use your smartwatch, use your phone. Those things can help you. Use technology to help you. So there's that as well. Number 4 is eating slowly and mindfully. When you're slowing down while eating can really increase the awareness of your physical fullness, right? And reduce the tendency to overeat. So pay attention to the flavors, the textures, and aromas of the food, allowing the brain to fully register the satisfaction and the satiety of the experience of eating. And if you're struggling to slow down, there's a couple of things to think about, just like we talk about a healthy sleep hygiene, let's talk about a healthy eating hygiene, right? So turning off the television, putting down the phone. The rule is that everybody at the table shouldn't have their phone on the table. The phone should not be on the table. Put it away in another place, right? And if you're really struggling, like you're still wanting to eat quickly, eat with the opposite hand. This really does make a difference. Let me tell you, there's nothing like trying to write or eat with your opposite hand. And if you're ambidextrous, I don't know what to tell you. Try your toes. I don't know. Anyway, just being funny. Or maybe not funny. But there is that piece. So again, slowing down, bringing down the distractions, and understanding you don't have to eat until the plate is empty. We're not little kids that are parents, where you have to eat till the food's all gone. No, you eat until you're full or feeling satiated. And what does that feel like? It doesn't feel uncomfortable. You don't feel like you have to go take a nap, right? Especially if you're eating high fiber plant foods, you're going to feel a little bit fuller, faster without that fatigue that typically comes with very high calorie, high saturated fat type foods. So what you may want to do is like, I've eaten with a smaller plate. I've eaten my food. I've slowed down. And when you feel about 80-90% full, stop. And then give yourself some time, right? And if you find that you're hungry in 20-30 minutes, you can have something else, or go back. So again, just understanding and reconnecting with our body and understanding what it feels like to be full, but not overly full. What does it feel like to really, truly be hungry? Just understanding. You could also journal about this as well. And number 5 is incorporating balanced meals. And what do I mean by that? First of all, eating regular balanced meals can really help, one, regulate your blood sugar, minimize cravings, and stabilize your mood. So you want to include healthy plant-based proteins, healthy fats like nuts, seeds, avocados, and fiber in every meal. And the higher protein foods like the beans, lentils, and whole grains can really help satiate and drive down the cravings. They will help you increase your satiety for a longer period of time as well, and they give you more energy. So you might want to think about that. If you're finding that eating just a piece of fruit in the morning is not working, try to increase, your morning to maybe like increase the protein in your morning foods. Like breakfast would be, let's say, a tofu scramble or something like that. Or you could do oatmeal or groat oats. Those type of things can be very, very satiating, and you won't feel as hungry later to snack before lunch or things like that. So there's some ideas there. And then finally, I wanted to talk about coping strategies to break the emotional eating cycle, right? So to manage emotional triggers that contribute to overeating, it's really important to adopt effective coping strategies alongside your mindful eating practices, okay? There's 4 here that I would say that are really important. Number 1 is practicing stress relief activities. Regular activities like yoga, meditation, deep breathing, walks, mindful walks can reduce your stress and lower your cortisol levels, which help manage emotional triggers more effectively. Number 2 is build a support network, right? Talking to others who are going through similar experiences can reduce feelings of isolation and offer emotional support. Sharing stories with friends, family, or supporters can alleviate the loneliness and emotional eating. If you really want to, if you're looking for a wonderful community, I run Healing Kitchen with Brittany Giroudi. You can go to drmarbus.com, click on the Healing Kitchen, and consider joining us. We meet every single week live, every single week, every Wednesday. And actually tonight we're meeting in the next half hour. And she brings 2 lovely recipes that she cooks for us. And then I answer medical questions. We're also building a community. We're about to launch our course. I have workshops and ebooks. There's such a rich diversity of information. We've been doing this well over a year now, almost a year and a half. And there's a wealth of information. And if you're really looking for a safe space to ask your questions, that's the place to go. And if you can't make the meetings, we'll record them for you and you can go back and see them. So, and again, you have access to all the last year and a half of everything as well. So check it out if that's something that would interest you. Number 3 is consider what we call CBT, or cognitive behavior therapy. Okay. Basically, this can help identify and reframe the negative thought patterns that are associated with emotional eating. Practicing self-compassion, journaling thoughts, and using positive affirmations can really reduce anxiety-driven cravings. And number 4 is really potentially seeking professional guidance, right? So if emotional eating feels unmanageable or is causing significant stress or weight gain, consult a healthcare provider that can help you, or a registered dietitian or psychologist, because really personalized guidance sometimes is really more important. And again, that can also help you develop a food plan that works best for you in your given circumstances. So remember, emotional eating during menopause is common, but it doesn't have to be the permanent habit, right? So by using tools like the HALT method, practicing mindful eating, and adopting some more effective coping mechanisms, you can really manage the cravings, improve your mood, and support healthier eating for the long term. So as always, I'm sending gratitude, joy, love, and just so much healing your way, because we all need more of that in our own lives and in this world. So thanks again for joining, and I hope you found that helpful. And I'll be back tomorrow with something else to come up my sleeve to talk about. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great and lovely rest of your day.